dangerous obsession. Meghan Markle has not moved on from the royals. In fact, she's more fixated on them than ever.
Hello everyone. Welcome back to the King YouTube channel.
As we previously reported, Meghan and Harry's favorite mouthpiece, Omid Scobie, aka Scabies, aka Scooby-Doo, is about to release another book. And after Finding Freedom, we know what to expect is going to be filled with hateful lies about the royal family. And now People magazine has published an article with a headline that no one's going to believe. Meghan Markle has moved on from the royals. She doesn't want anything to do with it. Honestly, folks, it blows my mind how Harry and Meghan continue to believe that if they say something, if they push a narrative, that somehow is going to change the truth. They really do believe that they have the power to define reality. I'm not sure why they believe themselves to have this power, but obviously they do. Because predictably, before Endgame is coming out, we see Meghan rushing to the media to try to claim that she didn't have anything to do with it. Even though Meghan and Harry love trashing the royals, and even though it's already been proven that Meghan and Harry did in fact supply Omid Scobie with material for his book Finding Freedom, already they're trying to get ahead of this thing and act like they're innocent. Scooby-Doo spoke with People magazine for this article, and he said, quite early on in the book writing process, some of those Meghan sources that I really leaned on in the earlier years this time were like, you know what? She doesn't want anything to do with it, end quote. Who on earth is going to believe this tripe? I mean, first of all, we know these Meghan sources are Meghan herself. Meghan doesn't have any close friends. She doesn't have anybody who really knows her. There's nothing to really know. Secondly, Scabies has already claimed that he spoke with members of the royal family to write this book. So if he's not talking about Meghan and Harry, who is he talking about? No one else is going to speak with him. And what about the Ginger Whinger Harry? Well, Scooby-Doo says for Harry it's different. He still has unfinished business when it comes to his battles with the press. His challenge will be to find something that balances that out, so we can see him working in a space that isn't connected to the ties that bind from the past. The ties that bind from the past. Okay, that's an interesting way of putting that. I mean, in fact, I would say that Harry is more bound today than he ever was in the past. In the past, he had his freedom to enjoy his life, but now he is completely under Meghan's control. She has brainwashed him. He probably has to ask Meghan's permission before he's allowed to use one of their 16 toilets. According to People magazine, Meghan and Harry did call the king on his birthday. We're still not wholly convinced, but anyway, Scooby-Doo says, with Harry, there's a reluctant acceptance that this is just who his father is. He would rather have that in his life than to cut it off completely. Hence, when they talk, it is often Harry reaching out. And I was surprised to learn that even Meghan has some sort of correspondence with Charles, sending over photos of the children, although they're not directly to him. So there is a willingness there. Wow, okay, there is a lot in that little paragraph. So first of all, what is he talking about? It's all Harry. He just has to accept that this is who his father is. Why are they trying to portray Charles as some absent father who's so focused on his own life that he doesn't have time to reach out to his son Harry? As if there couldn't be any other reason why maybe he doesn't want to talk to Harry. This is the most absurd thing I have ever seen. And then, oh, he's surprised to learn that even Meghan has some correspondence with Charles. But notice, he doesn't say that Meghan sends photos to Charles. He said she sends over photos of the children, but not directly to him. Well, I'm sure she doesn't have a way to send anything directly to him. I mean, if she did, can you imagine the kind of filth she probably would be sending him? There's probably a very good reason that he will not allow her to have a direct line of communication to him. I 100% believe that if Meghan Markle thought it could benefit her, she would make a move on King Charles. She really is that shameless. It sounds like Scooby-Doo is also going to really go after William in the book, which again is not a surprise considering Harry and Meghan are feeding him all this nonsense. So according to Scooby-Doo, Harry is in the rearview mirror for his brother Prince William. He says, William's so far forward in his journey that what is important today is very different to what was important 10 years ago. He goes on to say, you really feel this when you talk to people working at the palace, that they really consider what Harry and Meghan, but mostly Harry, say as just irritating noise. The feelings of this man are not worth anything anymore. That's sort of typical of any big corporation. I know it's different because they're family, but as we've known for a long time, the meaning of family is very different to them. I'm becoming convinced that Scooby-Doo is just as delusional as his paymaster Meghan Markle. What is he talking about? They consider what Harry says is just irritating noise? Well, yeah, of course, that's all it is. For nearly 4 years now, Harry has made a career out of trashing his family, out of telling lies about them, out of airing all their dirty laundry. So at this point, why would they take anything he says seriously? This is the only logical response from the family. And this has Meghan all over it, talking about how, well, it's just like any big corporation, but they're a family. Meghan is always trying to portray them as this cruel, cold family who doesn't care about its members. The royal family is just hurt by everything Harry and Meghan have done. It is Meghan herself who has the emotional intelligence of a shark. Scooby-Doo, though, it sounds like is convinced that the royal family should be very focused on Harry's feelings. He says part of the buy-in from the British public is that the royal family is the nation's family. And according to People magazine, Scooby-Doo writes that perhaps more than at any other point in history, the family is ignoring its internal fractures at its own peril. No, I think they are doing the right thing by ignoring Harry and Meghan pitching fits on the floor like a couple of toddlers. I mean, to entertain those two, to give in to their demands, would certainly not strengthen the monarchy and the royal family. It would probably cause it to collapse altogether. Scooby-Doo is also pushing this very dangerous narrative that William has been leaking negative stories about Harry to the press. According to People, Scooby says heir to the throne William, 41, has prioritized his loyalty to the monarchy, even quietly cooperating with the UK press to undermine Harry, 39. Kensington Palace had no comment when reached by People about the allegations, end quote. Well, of course they had no comment because it's a load of bull. Harry has got to stop this. I know that he is so obsessed with bringing down his brother, but does Harry really fail to see that he is still a part of the monarchy? He still has that prince title? Does he really fail to see how hypocritical it is of him to go around insisting that people refer to him as His Royal Highness, using that prince title, using that duke title, and at the same time trying everything he can to undermine his brother, the Prince of Wales, and his father, the King? And of course, William wants nothing to do with Harry after the way he trashed the family. According to Scooby-Doo, nothing has changed in that relationship. He says, I saw Harry's release of Spare as his last attempt at telling his family how he's felt for years, because clearly there's never been an open enough forum to have these conversations or share these feelings, end quote. You know, some feelings don't need to be shared. Some feelings, I hate to say it, I know this is not PC, but we really don't need to care about every person's feelings. Some people just need to grow up and learn to handle their own negative feelings by themselves. Harry's feelings are not rooted in reality, so no, it's not okay for him to just dump all his feelings on his family, especially William. Harry is mentally disturbed, and that's why he feels this way. William didn't make him feel this way, so why should William have to put up with the whining? He shouldn't. Scooby-Doo also wrote in Endgame, I was talking to a source quite early on in the process, and they called Harry a defector, and said that was William's view. These were two men who once upon a time were firmly aligned in their outlook. One of them had to move on to also protect the crown. He goes on to say, in the eyes of some within the institution, Harry is a threat to the crown. His freedom to exert his own thinking outside of the confines of the institution has made him the enemy. And he says, for the brothers, there's no going back. Well, as for Harry being a threat to the crown, he wishes he were, but is he really? I don't think so. At this point, nobody believes anything he says. At this point, he is a laughingstock all around the globe. Harry claimed that he just needed an opportunity to tell his side of the story. Well, he told his side of the story, and everybody saw that it was a big steaming pile of BS. His family wants nothing to do with him. The only way he can make money is by trashing his family. So what on earth does he think he's going to do once nobody wants to listen to him? And you, what do you think of the contents of Scooby-Doo's book Endgame? Please let me know your opinion below in the comments section. If you enjoyed this video, please do like and share it with anyone else who would appreciate it too. And don't be afraid to click the subscribe button to get more updates in the future. Thank you so much for tuning in, have a lovely weekend, and we'll be back to see you all tomorrow.